Hey everybody, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to ReadySetCrypto. Today is Wednesday the 8th, and we're going to do a little live session today. Unfortunately, I don't have my partner in crime here, Mav. He is off traipsing around the country of Italy today, so be on the lookout for him if you're in Italia. Otherwise, I'm going to be holding down the fort here. So my specialty is going to be charts and looking at price action charts, technical analysis, things like that. So today, instead of looking at coins and projects and, opining on the value or merit of a specific project, what we're going to do is we're going to let the market kind of make that decision for us by looking at the price action for it and understanding what the chart is telling us about what the market perceives the value of these coins at. Again, my name's Doc Severson, and welcome aboard. Let us know where you're coming in from today. And we'll get things started off here in just a minute once we get everybody on board. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome to ReadySetCrypto. We'll get started here in just a minute. If you want to, what I'll do is I'll go over a couple of coins at the very beginning, and then we'll shift pretty quickly into the interactive portion of today's session. So if you have any certain pairs of coins that you want to look at, so if you want to look at something like Decentraland versus the US dollar or any other coin like that, just give me the pair and I'll try to keep up here. All right. Hey, Rajith, how we doing out there? Hey, Koob, good afternoon. Let us know where you're coming in from here. Always interested to see where people are coming in. Okay, so I've got a request for Poly versus USD. We'll get to that. Adam and DOT. Hey, DMAC coming from Berger, Ontario. Welcome aboard. All right, so let's see. Flex versus BTC. All right, and I'll catch up with these in just a little bit here. I'll catch up with these, and of course, if you put out a request and if I don't come back to it, please let me know, and we'll get you all settled up. Hey, Ray, coming in from Aiken, South Carolina. I am just up the road from you in Greenville, so welcome aboard. All right, let's get started here. I'm going to park myself down in the lower left-hand corner, get started, and we're going to look at Bitcoin to begin with. Okay, this is Bitcoin on a daily chart, and as most of you know, we're in this larger time frame uptrend, and for what I call the North Star is I'm going to go out to the monthly chart and a log chart, a monthly log chart. This gives you a different perspective. This goes all the way down from $200 per coin down here in, when is that? That's back in 2015, all the way up to, current prices, which are above 49,000. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing the price just going sky high up into another consolidation. And looking at this chart, this almost looks like an ascending triangle. So range expansion, range contraction. This is how markets move. Range expansion, range contraction. This is how they move. So we're into a contraction phase, and we've been in that for a number of months. To better understand how that fits, what I'm going to do is now go into the regular linear charts and apply what we call fractal energy to these. And one of the problems that we had with Bitcoin is on the recent move higher into November, we had just about exhausted this chart down here. So what we're seeing is corrective price action, which sets up, which is going to build up the energy again. This whole pattern here is going to be probably what I think to be a cup with handle pattern. Now, this is pulled down a little further than I wanted to with the swing test of 53,000, but it still has not changed polarity yet. We still haven't had the price drop down below 40,000. So one of the things that you can keep in mind is as long as the price is above 40,000 and closes there on a daily basis, that's all good. If it starts to drop below there, then we're going to be, there may be some issues with BTC. Okay, so as we go down to the daily chart, this is where we're going to see, this is where most people are focused on, but they're missing the whole picture of what's going on in the larger time frames. Oh, okay, so sorry about that, DMAC. I thought it was Burger, Ontario. All right. And so we'll look at Burger versus the USDT and then Ontario, or Ontology versus USDT. Got it. Got it. Okay, so we will get to your request here in just a second. Now, so BTC bottom line here, got to stay above $40,000 on a close versus the US dollar. Got to stay above 40K on a closing price. I don't mind if it actually dips down below here as long as it closes above 40,000 by the end of the day. It cannot print a new lower low, especially on a closing basis. Is there such thing as a Burger, Ontario? Maybe. Okay. Never mind. Okay. All right. So that's Bitcoin. And this is the one that everybody's watching. It did get a little frothy there. It did have a false breakout on a cup with handle pattern, but we're in corrective. This is okay. Technically, there's no damage yet. Now, Ethereum is actually a much better story because what we have is same kind of deal. We have, I don't know if you'd call this a cup with handle pattern, pretty close to it, although it did break out. This is definitely a nice handle pattern. And if we go out to the weekly chart, this is actually great news here because it's all charged up, ready to go, and it's held a very important $40,000 level. Or I'm sorry, $4,000. I wish. So 4,000 is the swing test here, which is held really, really well. Ethereum looks probably the strongest of the top 10 that we're looking at here. I'm not going to go down through everything else today. What I've been seeing today is a bunch of coins coming off the bottom, which is what I call this is an oversold bounce out of the gutter. So a lot of these are just showing an oversold bounce out of the gutter. There's haves and have-nots in today's market, and that's unfortunate. Right now what is happening is the larger equity markets are kind of freaking out because they're over-leveraged. They're very sensitive to risk at this point, and my sense is that we're also seeing the same thing happen in crypto markets. Money will find a home for everything that's out there, and there is a lot of money sloshing around out there. So the top two is what I consider to be the health of the market, and so far those are good. But like I said, we have a lot of these, like EOS is an example of something like that. So you're seeing 16.5% up today, which sounds awesome, but got to consider where it comes from. Now, there's a couple that are real strong. Let's see if I can remember which ones those were. I think it was Matic. Yeah, Matic is one of the stronger ones that's out there versus the US dollar. And you can see this is one great big sort of rounded base cup pattern. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it set up the handle at this point. But if you see a high volume breakout above 260 versus the US dollar, that's real. And we do have volume increasing on Matic. So this one is doing really well. Okay. So that's kind of the overall state of the market. We're in consolidation. The larger equity markets have been in panic mode for the last couple of weeks. We've survived that so far. We have the end of the year coming up, which is traditionally a bullish time of the year. We'll see where markets want to go from here. I will say that I think 2022 is going to be a big time shakeout year. I think we've been in this rally really since the March of 2020 timeframe. So it's coming up on 2 years. It's coming up on a time where we might start to see some big volatility. But I think before we get there, I think we'll go sky high first. So all risk assets are going to be just gobbled up. So I think crypto is going to be included in that. So with that, that's kind of my my thoughts on the state of the market. What I'm going to do is go through the list here, and I'll try to keep up with you guys. I'll do my best, but don't be surprised if I'm not going to take any prisoners. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I see and not what I feel when it comes to your specific coin. So don't take it personally. All right, this is some tough love here. All right, so we'll start off with Poly. We'll start off with Poly on Coinbase, and we don't have really good news for this. There's a lot of coins that look like this. So Poly is the same thing as everybody else that up until this point here looked great, looked terrific. We had volume coming in, okay? Everything looked really good, and then all of a sudden, boom. Now, this is not a judgment on the project. Understand that. This is not my judgment on the project. This is my judgment on what the market thinks of the forward value of this project. And right now, this is a primary downtrend. So I would say avoid on this one for right now. If you've already got it, you're holding on to it, depends on what your time frame is for value in this, because we've seen plenty of coins over the past few years that dipped initially, but they came back strong. But this is the beginning of a primary downtrend, which is, I would say, avoid for right now. Okay, so let's go to our next one. Don't take it personally, okay? I'm just going to say what I see in the chart. So we're going to look at Atom. Atom is also going through the same thing here. Now look at the difference between where things were up through middle of October. Everything was looking great. Comes out of a rounded base, goes into absolute accumulation with tons of volume here. And what happens? Gets rejected. Boom. And this is around the same time that everybody else was getting beat up too, so don't take it too personally. Now, if we go to the weekly chart, what you're going to see is that this is just another weekly pullback. So as long as this weekly pullback holds up and holds this area of support here, wait for it to start. If you want to get into Atom versus the US dollar, wait until this starts to reestablish the uptrend. And rule number 2 of fractal energy trading says that smaller time frames will start the rebound first, right? Reversals start from the inside out. So what you'll start to see is if this is going to start to rebound, you'll start to see this at the daily chart or even smaller than that first. Okay. DOT. Let's go into DOT. That was the next request here. And we'll just do this one here. All right, same chart, same thing. We're seeing tons of these. You know, look where we were 2 weeks ago. And now we're here, right? So this is why rule number 3 says that ascending patterns break to the downside. Ascending patterns will break to the downside. But conversely, by the same token, can I do that? Can I have 2 expressions like conversely by the same token? The opposite of that would be descending patterns will break to the upside. So watch carefully for this descending pattern to break to the upside. Right now, I would say avoid until this breaks that trend line on good volume. Okay. All right, DMAC, here we go. DMAC from Burger, Ontario. Let's, I've never seen Burger before, but we'll take a look at it. Okay, so what do you see in Burger? Now, would you call this an uptrend or would you call this a downtrend? Right now, Burger versus US dollar is in a pretty serious downtrend. What started off obviously on the ICO was somewhere in the 20s, and it's been heading down from here. Again, this is not my read on the project. This is what my read on what the market thinks of this project. And you can't argue with the market. I'm sorry, the market's always going to be right. So what I would wait for on Burger is wait for this to start to trend up again, right? It's very simple. It's simple. It's harder to do, though. Okay, so let's look at ontology. I haven't looked at ontology for quite some time. And let's see, we'll just look at that on Binance. Oh, another crappy chart. Again, what we saw here on Ontology was into the springtime. This thing was ripping. And this is what we see with just about every altcoin, is that it will go through its period of accumulation and awareness, and everybody's excited about it. And then ascending patterns will break to the downside, and then it runs out of favor. And it will take quite some time to fix that technical damage. So Ontology, I would say, is an avoid for right now. Okay, Cube, you're up next. We have Flux versus versus BTC. Flux versus BTC. Was that the pair you wanted? Yep. Okay, so that's it. Ooh, that's looking ugly. All right, so anytime you have BTC as your reference currency, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, because if BTC is going higher, it's going to force your currency, your altcoin, to have to rally more than BTC. Now, BTC has actually been going down, and Flux is going down as well, too. So it's going down with BTC. So this is a fairly new one. I would say avoid while this is in a primary downtrend. What I would wait for is wait for this thing to start putting in higher highs and higher lows, like so. Okay. Let's look at Zacharias looking for Decred. So I'm just going to run through. I'm going to run through these for until about 30 or 40 minutes past the hour, or when my voice gives out, whichever comes first. This is Decred, and I know that there's a lot of love for Decred. This is probably, Bitfinex is probably not the right exchange to look at this. Let's look at something else here. That's a little bit better. Okay, so Decred was doing great all the way through the spring, and then it has fallen upon hard times. So I would wait for Decred to get above. If you see this green line here, this is the 200-day moving average. This is a great filter to use on your charts. Just really simple filter. Buy things that are above the 200-day moving average. Be wary of assets that are below the 200-day moving average. Okay, so it's really that simple. We don't have to make it any more difficult than that. Okay, Zachariah, your second one, which is EGLD. And unless I hear different, I'm just going to put all these versus the US dollar. So this one was doing awesome, but it's almost, this is the whack-a-mole kind of effect, that when we have prices that break above resistance like that, and we had pretty good volume, not great volume, but pretty good volume. The crypto market tends to whack-a-mole everything. You guys have played that game where you've got a mallet and you're slapping moles on the head. I'm sure that's probably politically incorrect to be able to play today. PETA will come after you if you do something like that. But so whack-a-mole got hit back down. Ascending patterns break to the downside. Right now, this is on avoid, EGLD. I'm looking for a good one. Okay, Seb, let's go for QANX. Okay, the only way that I can chart this is with a wrapped Ether token. This is still a primary uptrend, but I would be very careful here. This one has taken a beating lately. So as long as this is still a higher low, as long as this finds some support at this point. So this is a big rounded base. That's a good looking pattern, but it almost looks like it got whack-a-moled itself. So if this breaks this descending pattern, I would say we're on a void for right now. Okay, Seb, let's see. LTO, Zach, LTO. LTO, and what are you saying there, Binance? Okay. Again, this is another one. It's just been a rough couple of weeks as far as altcoins when it comes to the crypto market, because this was setting up a really nice rounded base, setting up for what should have been the handle pattern before the breakout, and it was not to be. We had good volume coming in here, but this is a rejection. This is a pattern failure. Now, you can wait for this to break to the upside. You have a smaller pattern within here. smaller descending pattern. If that descending pattern breaks on good volume, then you may have something. But LTO versus Tether right now doesn't look all that great. All right, DMAC. Good afternoon, everybody. If you're just joining us here, my name is Doc Severson with ReadySetCrypto, and I will be looking at your coins. We did initially just an overview of what I see happening in the market. And so right now I'm going through just about every single one of these has been a very negative pattern so far. This is what we're seeing in the markets. So this is the way it is. All right, so CRV. Let's see what CRV is doing. We're going to use Binance US for the exchange. And this is one more coin that was in a beautiful primary uptrend with good volume, got whack-a-mole. This is in a primary downtrend right now. This is in a void. When I say avoid, again, that does not mean that's my judgment on the project. It is saying this is what the market thinks about your project. All right, Grandum coin. I will look at Gala. Yeah, this is one. This looks like fairly new on FTX, and it's still primary and uptrend. But quite honestly, this is such a rejection here. I would wait for this one to start to break above there before I'd consider going long on this. All right, we got Jack Rowe in Sao Paulo. Welcome. Checking in from DXB. I don't know where that is. Hi, in the Netherlands. Okay, Seb is looking for Cardano. What's happening with Cardano? Cardano is not healthy at this point. It is not healthy. Again, failed breakout below the 200-day moving average in green. So anything below the 200-day moving average, some of these coins that we're looking at are not even 200 days old. So we don't have a lot of history on them. And if we don't have that history, the red line is the 50-day moving average. Right now, it's going into a death cross. So it is on a void right now for Cardano. Haven't seen too many good ones yet. Okay, let's see. Oh, Tig, how you doing? God, I haven't seen you for a long time, Tig. Long time no chat. Wreck. Wreck. That better describes the market these days. Okay, so you had that one extreme accumulation day that broke this thing out of this pattern. And I would say as long as it's above 40 cents, which is this level here, so this is a swing test. So it's not surprising that it's coming down to test this from above. So I don't know if you're already long in this, but I would want to see this level hold as support, and I'd want to start to see some positive price action. Ben, you're kidding, right? BitConnect? Was a. Okay. Oh, we just had a ton of these things come in. Okay. All right, I will try to find some of these. Okay, Getio, I cannot find that listed. Poly. All right, we'll try Poly. We already went over Poly. Okay, we did Burger. Okay. Is it Jocks? STX? Oop, STD. No, that's not it. Okay, so Stacks versus the US dollar. This one is holding up pretty well. It's in massive consolidation. It can't really get out of its own way, but I guess the best thing you could say is that this one's not selling off. So that's good. It's not going anywhere, though. On a larger time frame, this is just setting up a big basing pattern here. It's building up energy, building up consolidation, but right now this is a difficult chart. But if it's going to drop below this level, this is a void. This is a void. It's above the 200, which is good. So this may be the most positive one that we've looked at so far today. Okay, so we looked at Cardano, we looked at LTO already. Okay, so Ayub, we're going to look at SRM. SRM. And I'm given the choice, I'm going to look at these versus the US dollar because it's going to be more stable versus looking at this through BTC. But again, we have another failure here of a rounded base. We have a rounded base failure. And this is only recent. Price is below the 200-day moving average in green. This is a void for right now. Okay, Mark. Mark is wanting to look at VRA. So let's look at VRA. Veracity. I've not looked at this one in a while. Okay, we have another technical failure here. This is a technical failure. This uptrend has failed. Price is above the 200. So it's technically not completely broken, but it does not look good right now. There's a lot of assets that do not look that good. Okay, RNDR. Oops. Let's try that again. There's just no. This one is not healthy. Not healthy right now. Stacy, a 1 inch. Let's give you a 1 inch update. Let's see if I can find 1 inch. There we go. On Coinbase, we are below the 200-day moving average. We are on a void for 1 inch. 1 inch had a one-day wonder back here in 27 October, and it got whack-a-moled, and it has been sold into. Who are these people that are selling up here? All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. My name's Doc, and we are with ReadySetCrypto. I'm going to be going over your coin request today. We're going to be looking at charts only. Okay, any thoughts on long-term XMR, Monero? I haven't heard anybody talking about Monero in like the longest time. All right, let's look at Monero. And the reason is because Monero was smoking it back here in the springtime, and it's since that point got wrecked. I don't know what occurred back here at the end of May, but since that point, this is a broken chart. Since that point, this is a broken chart. You cannot argue with what's happening with the price. So we're below the 200-day moving average. If you're a long-term believer in the project, you know, you can start to accumulate or dollar cost average down here, but understand that what is low can go lower in a downtrend. So I'm not a big believer in picking the bottom. I buy assets that are going higher in price, not ones that are going lower. Okay, SRM. Didn't we already do this one? Didn't we already do this one? Looks like everything else that's being destroyed. Okay, I think we did do that one. BNB has more data on Burger anyway. Okay, all right, DMAC. Okay, Shire. Can't find Shire. Not there. Okay, so next one, MIG Checker. Mover. See if I can find it. If I can find it, I will chart it. Okay, this one, once upon a time, I was putting a fib on this guy. Okay, and that implies that something was heading higher, but so far, no bueno. So we're in a primary weekly downtrend. Primary weekly downtrend. Not healthy. Okay, FTM, Stephen, FTM versus the BTC. Phantom. We're going to do Phantom. First of all, I'm going to do versus the dollar. That doesn't look good. Let's see if FTM versus BTC looks any better. Slightly better, and that's only because Bitcoin has been weak as of late. But this is a change in polarity. We have a former uptrend now working into a downtrend. What is low can go lower. What I would wait for is wait for this to break above this descending trend line. Okay, so that's Phantom versus BTC. All right, BSC pad. BSC pad. I have no such symbol on BSC pad. Okay. Oasis Network coin is Rose. Rose USD. There we go. Okay. Still in an uptrend. Okay. See where this delineation is here? This is still making higher highs and higher lows. It's working it. It's fighting it like crazy right now. But this is going to have to break above this level here at 28 cents to reclaim the uptrend. And if it falls below, I'd say about 24 cents, then it's in trouble. But as long as it's maintaining this uptrend, and it's fighting it, it's fighting the rest of the market right now. Okay, MIG, we did mover. Ethereum versus BTC. Wow. Okay, Ethereum versus BTC. Not a pair that I look at very much. Wow, that's probably the best looking chart. So this is Ethereum using BTC as the reference currency, and this is probably the best chart we've looked at all day. So basically what you're doing is you're shorting BTC and you're long Ethereum. And this is actually very nice. It's a very nice breakout from this level. Okay, want to look at this from an energy perspective. It's a little bit exhausted at this point. I would wait for a little bit of, wow. Yeah, it's also exhausted on the weekly chart basis. So it may coast a little higher, but it's going to have difficulty getting anywhere. All right, very interesting. Thanks, Rajith. Okay, let's see. Vishwanath. Arco. Well, I can do ARC BTC. I can't seem to find Arco. I don't see any Arco, but we'll try this one. We'll try ARC, and ARC does not look good. ARC is in a primary downtrend right now. Okay, TJO, we just did Cardano. We have done SRM. I think we got you earlier. All right, Alez? Mina. Mina versus USDT. Ooh, this is a very new one. Not a whole lot of history here. So this is just shaking and baking right now. We don't have enough really to chart on this one yet. But I would like to see this heading higher and not lower here. So the last couple of days have been slight technical failure. Okay, so we did EXRD. We did STX already. We did Cardano already. EXRD. Radix. Okay, Radix had a couple of good days, but since then, it's given it all back. So this is where we can get into Fib Analysis and see what's going on here. This swing going from top to bottom, we've already gone through the 61.8% retracement, which means that more than likely this is going to come all the way back down again. I hate to say that, but this is what Fib Analysis can do for us. Okay, so STX, ADA, Floki. If I do Floki, do I have to laugh like Floki? What a character. Floki versus Tether. All right, same deal here. This, had one day wonder. Second day was real strong too, and that's come back down since then. Technical failure on the breakout. All right. Thank you, Ishmael, for smashing the like button. That helps us with the algorithm as well too. Thank you very much. Okay, LTC. We haven't done Litecoin versus the BTC. All right, we'll do that. LTC, BTC. Ugly, ugly, ugly. This means that you're long on Litecoin, you're shorting Bitcoin, and that has not been a good trade so far. That's not been a winning trade. The opposite of that would have been. Okay, so Karen wants to look at Matic. This is one of the stronger ones that's out there. Matic. Really strong. Okay, so that's looking good. That's a weekly chart. That's a weekly chart, and this is probably about the strongest one that I see today, and it's got volume. So congratulations, you win today, Karen. Now, it looks really good, and there's still energy for this one to go. So I like that chart the best of anything that we've seen today. XPR. All right, let's look at XPR versus Tether. Technical failure, lower high, lower low. This moved into a downtrend right around here in late November, and this one is on the avoid. We don't have enough data to do a 200-day moving average, but right now this is a downtrend. Sorry, guys. Okay, so XPR, we did XPR, we did SRM, VOA, did we do VOA? Can't find it. Unfortunately, we don't have it. BTT, let's see if we have BTT. We do. BTT. Okay, this one's starting to do something. All right, so what I would do here is I would say it's had a good couple of days, and we're starting to see more of these coins that are, trying to break out, but I would wait until it breaks above this trend line here. Descending patterns break to the upside. Wait for the volume. We don't have enough volume for this to break yet. Here's decent volume. This is not really enough volume for this to break this pattern yet. Okay, what about Elon? Is that like the coin or the person? Elon. Okay, this one. This looks like every other meme coin. This looks like Dogecoin. This looks like Shiba. They're all doing exactly the same thing. So somebody's buying them, but not in any huge quantity. You can see the volume is just not there right now. Okay, let's see. SRM we have done. Luna. I don't know if I'm keeping up with you guys or not. I don't know how far ahead of you are. Luna, wow, this is a great chart. This is phenomenal. Thank you. Finally, we got a good one here. So this is a primary weekly trend to the upside, still has energy. Okay, range expansion, range contraction. This is moving nicely. What I would expect to see here on Luna is just maybe a couple more days in this area. Build up this energy until it's getting up in this area, and then we should see, if it's still healthy, we should see a good breakout to the upside. But the weekly chart is getting a little bit, so good one, Stephen. Okay, EWT. Let's see, EWT. EWT versus the US dollar. It's not doing anything really. It's just, the volume's coming in, but it's not going anywhere. So right now, what I would say, Stephen, is this is kind of a rounded base. And here it's trying to break out above 15. 15 is the rounded base it's trying to break out, which is good volume here, but it's got to do something. So I would wait for this to break out above 15 with volume and hope that it's not going to be a false breakout. I swear we have done SRM. I swear we have done this one. Okay, yeah, we've done this one, and it's not good. Okay, ARPA, DMAC, ARPA. This is a technical failure. Technical failure. This is a former uptrend. Now has turned into a downtrend. So I'd put this on a void until it's able to start to build up the uptrend again. Okay, ARPA. All right, Avax, Vahid. Avax. This one, I think, was doing really well. Okay, so here's my thought on this one. This is the swing test at 80. As long as it holds the swing test at 80, that's good. So this can pull back. So even though this is a daily downtrend right there, so you've had a change in polarity to a daily downtrend. Okay, if we go out to the weekly chart, what we're going to see is that that's just a pullback. So weekly chart wins. This is still a pullback. You got to hold 80 on Avax, Vahid. Okay, Nexo. I don't think I'll ever catch up to you guys. Nexo versus Tether. What's going on here? Let's go to the daily chart. Daily downtrend. Unfortunately, this one, technical failure as well, too. Okay, Florida attorney Algorand. Not going anywhere. Algo nowhere. Yeah, so technical failure on Algorand. DMAC just wants to see LTC. No, that's a wrong LTC. Let's do LTC US dollar. Failure. Should have been breaking out at 280. Technical failure. This has been a rough month for crypto. Okay, Phantom we already did. TAN. Seek versus US dollar. That's a new one. Can't find it. It's not listed on TradingView, unfortunately. Atlas. Let's find Atlas. Okay, yeah, we have another failure here in the month of November. This has made a new lower low. Can you see what I'm talking about here? All right, so we get into this mode. We're building this base. We're working into an uptrend. Look at this uptrend. Right, let's go over to here's the hard right edge. We have an uptrend. This is all looking good. And then what happens? Right down. Starts to make lower lows. More than likely will make a lower high as well too. This needs to start to reestablish the uptrend before you can do anything. Okay, David is wanting to look at BAL. Okay, let's look at this. It's not good. Not good. Failure. Failure. This one was doing great this spring, and then like many other coins, right there, just never recovered. So this needs to build a base again. We've seen this. It needs to build a base, and it needs to get back up to 36 and then break out. So this is the path to recovery for this one, but I would not, don't do anything with this one until it breaks above there. Okay, I think we did Theta already, but maybe not. Okay, let's look at Theta. Theta technical failure. I mean, this one, as long as it's staying below this trend line, you avoid. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Flame versus the US dollar. Let's look at Flame. Firestarter. Okay, it is a fairly new one, and we've had a failure lately. So this should have broken out, this consolidation, this triangle should have broken out to the upside. Now, what I've seen before is this can be just a larger time frame pullback, weekly pullback. If this is going to work, this needs to break above 2 on good volume. The volume is going away right now. It's not helping. Okay, we already did Litecoin. Let's do Zcash for Niku. Zcash. Okay, this one, this is a stretch, but this is still a higher low versus here. So this is still a higher low here, but this is going to have to get up and over 200 to get anywhere. This more than likely. So watch these lows. If this breaks this trend line, then this is on the avoid list. Yeah, short all majors. Okay, we'll go into Hex. Seb. Let's take a look at Hex. Yo! Oh, that's ugly. That doesn't seem like the same Hex that I know. Maybe I was just using, yeah, this is not pretty. Hex was really a great chart until October, and it's just been destroyed since then. David wants to look at energy. Okay, we'll look at energy versus BTC. Again, I want to keep saying this because I don't want people to take the wrong thing from what I'm trying to say here. This is not my judgment of your project. This is the market's judgment of your project. This is the collective market saying this is the forward potential of this project. All right, XNO. So I'm going to have to wrap this up here in a couple of minutes. XNO, the only way I can look at this is through the Korean won, but this one needs to base out here, and then this is going to have to set this up as a neckline at 180 and break here. So until that point, I would avoid. Okay. Noam. Hello from Israel. Vet VeChain. Let's go to VeChain. VeChain versus the US dollar. And that is an ugly chart. So again, this is the basing pattern. It was getting there. This is where it should have been breaking out right there. Should have been breaking out. There was no volume. So they got hung out to dry out there, and the shorts just took them to lunch. Shorts took them to lunch. Everything in November has been bad. Bitcoin BSV. Okay, this one is still also, we've got a neckline right around in this area at about 200. And until it's able to get up and over there, you can see some volume coming in lately, but it just hasn't been enough to get this up and over. So 200, everything below 200, don't touch it. If it gets above 200, you can buy that. Okay, the next one is time. And we'll just look at this time versus BTC. So this is relatively positive, but I can just look at this and tell this is a very illiquid asset. This is a very sparsely traded illiquid asset because the price is jumping all over the place and is being manipulated. But it's in an uptrend, so I'm not going to complain. So this is time versus BTC. It's still in an uptrend. Will it continue if BTC strengthens out? Probably not. All right, Nathan, SCRT. SCRT. Secret network. Technical failure. Right there. Technical failure. Also with the swing test. Failed the swing test at 7. Right now it's on a void, unfortunately. Okay, we just did Elon. Okay, Zach wants to look at Chainlink. We haven't done Chainlink for a while now. Chainlink failure. So again, it's been strong the last 3 days, but this is because it's been, tossed down in the gutter, and this is an oversold bounce. Oversold bounce in the gutter. So Chainlink technical failure. Okay, let's see. IOTA. The basic pattern here is tried to break out here, failed. So this is really the neckline, is about 1.4 to 1.6. So I would stay out of this one until it breaks above 1.6. Solana. Solana is actually pretty good. This is what I would consider to be a weekly bull flag. If we look at this on the weekly chart, it actually looks much better. But I would say this level has got to hold. You can see how this 180 level of support, that's got to hold. If this breaks the 180 level, then it's going to fall quite a bit. So as long as we hold around 180 to 200, I'd say Solana's doing pretty well. Okay, Engine Coin. We haven't done that one for a while. Engine Coin versus the US dollar. Okay, it looks like another failure here. This has just been a rotten week for crypto. I mean, look at this. 2 weeks ago, we're looking really good. Just pulling back to a swing test and then making a lower low. This one's on a void right now. Hero. Wow, I haven't seen Hero for a while. Hero, this is, well, we can try Wrapped Ether. And that's probably not the one that you're looking for. Okay, so this is Metahero versus USDT. This one's actually a good-looking chart. This is a good-looking chart. This is going to have to, at some point, this is going to have to break higher from here. So above like 22 cents would be the long on here, but Metahero actually looks pretty good. Okay, Jacques KDA. Cadena. I would say this is another technical failure. I would wanted to see 16 hold as support, and it's broken that. But here's the thing, is that this might be just a weekly pullback. What you can watch is for this descending trend line to break to the upside. It's going to have to do so on big volume. Big volume, break this thing to the upside. Okay, yeah, we looked at Energy, Nexo, NEXO. Okay. And I'm just going to do a couple more, guys, and then I'm going to have to bolt out of here. Okay, this one has failed. Breakout fail, moving into a downtrend. Now, On the weekly chart, this is just a really strong pullback. As long as it holds that swing test at $2, it's probably not that bad. It's probably not that bad. Okay, Polkadot we did. Pirate Train. This is a new one on me. Okay, maybe Pirate Chain. R versus USDT. R, that's going way down there. That is not a healthy chart. I'm sorry. Again, this is not my judgment on your project. This is my judgment on what the chart is saying about the forward prospects of this. All right, let me do two more, and then I'm going to wrap up for today. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me here today, because if I don't shut up here, I'm going to have no voice. Okay, Vesper. We'll try Vesper. Vesper Finance versus Tether. Oh, it's another yow. This is not good. We're seeing a lot of market is taking the trash out, unfortunately. Again, this is just a bad looking chart. Hate to say it. Okay, Decentraland. We haven't done Decentraland, and this will be tonight's last coin. Okay, Decentraland versus USDT. Not bad. There is a failure here. There is a small technical failure here, but this can be a weekly pullback. This can be a weekly pullback, so I would say it's still a relatively, this one was super strong there for a few weeks, doing awesome. And so far, it's all right. Let me throw the fibs on here. The fibs are saying, survey says, it's holding about the 50% retracement. So I want to still be optimistic about Decentraland, and it still looks pretty good. Okay, guys, that's all I got. I want to thank you for showing up here today. Plus, don't forget to check the notes on the video here. If you want to check out our services, you can sign up for our Discord for free. You can join me to trade the equities market if you go to elite.readyset.trade. Okay, so that's another one you can take a look at. You can go to ReadySet Vision and talk about on-chain analysis. So we have a number of services with also some free communities, so you can get your feet wet. You can stick your toes in there in the water, see whether it's something that you want to be part of. And if you want more, you can always elect to get more, or the courses that we have as well too. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me here. We will see you next week, probably with, I'm going to be joined by, the Thor-looking guy with a big voice. So Mav will be back next week. Want to thank you guys for hanging out with me here today. You guys take care. Everybody be good. We'll see you around now. Bye.